Welcome to the latest episode of Bite-Sized Bible Breakdowns. This week I look at how, when, and why the Messianic concept emerged in ancient Judaism. I will also show how those Jewish Messianic hopes were kindled but then quickly died out. Stay tuned for some interesting history. The events which led to the Messianic ideology arising was the conquest of the southern kingdom of Judah by the Babylonians around 597 BCE. The Bible captures the twin sackings of Judah under Jeconiah in 2 Kings 24 verses 10 to 16 and under Zedekiah in 2 Kings 25. These two chapters cover the destruction of the First Temple of Solomon and the deportation of the urban, educated elite to Babylon, which became a significant turning point in the theological evolution of Judaism. It was in Babylon where the exiles, clinging to their faith in a foreign land, developed new ideas that would become the basis for Second Temple Judaism following their release by Cyrus the Great. As kings were anointed with oils upon coronation, Messiah is simply the Hebrew word for the anointed. Therefore, one of the ideas which emerged in Second Temple Judaism was the rise of the Messianic belief that a warrior king would appear who would restore Judah's independence. Further, the Bible clearly states the covenant made by God with David in 2 Samuel 7:16 was eternal. So if God made a covenant that the house of David should rule for eternity, then surely God would intervene in history and send an anointed king of the dynasty to free the chosen people. There was one messianic candidate, Zerubbabel, a descendant of Jeconiah who had been exiled in the first siege. Zerubbabel was the exilarch, or king in exile, and the Persians appointed him governor of the former lands of Judah among the returning exiles who initiated the Second Temple era. It was around Zerubbabel that the original Messianic hopes were pinned, but apparently he didn't want. After Zerubbabel, Messianism lay dormant until the time of the Maccabean revolt around 170 BCE, which has its own political context that will be covered in a future video showing how Messianic expectations had completely morphed over time and which ultimately led to Christianity. There are only two Messianic references to Zerubbabel. The first is in Zechariah and the other is in Haggai. These are the only truly original Messianic passages of the Hebrew Bible, not the ones later Christians cherry-picked to fit the narrative of Jesus, like the suffering servant reference in Isaiah 53. The critical textual history of Messianic passages is very complicated and goes beyond the scope of a video summary. These details and analysis are covered in my book under my former pen name, Manifest Insanity, such as the anachronistic references in Isaiah 11 or the contradictions between Jeremiah 22 and 23. Briefly, the passage in Isaiah 11 alludes to the end of the Davidic dynasty during the Babylonian exile. Scholars dispute the passage as original to the text, as the first 39 chapters of Isaiah, referred to as First Isaiah, is an 8th century BCE composition written about 200 years before the Babylonian conquest. Therefore, this passage cannot be considered truly messianic, as it reflects a situation that would not arise for over 2 centuries. Thanks for watching. Please check out the other videos on my channel if history is your thing, and see you next time.